All right, guys and gals, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening. Oh, crap. Sorry. You are listening to the Daily Roundup webinar. I thought I was sharing my screen. Can you guys see my screen okay now? My bad. My bad. Sorry about that. Okay. I hope you guys are having a great trading session. Wow. Here's the thing. I want to point out something that's specifically about today. We are seeing volatility increase in the currency market. That's a good thing, guys. That is a good thing. You may have been on the wrong side of the market. Like I didn't think that the euro dollar is going to break out. I was actually short the euro, small, but I was short, and I took like a 35 pip loss on my average on the euro when it broke through 120. But the good news, and then I ended up picking up the euro a couple of times on the long side, and I bought the euro yen. But the good news is volatility is picking up, and that's good, right? That's what we want to see in the currency market. We want to see volatility picking up, and that's what we're getting right now. And let's talk about a couple of things, actually. So first and foremost, I have to say I'm really nervous about. Let me get to it. Nervous about. Let me see here. Let me get this. Hold on one second. Where is it? Okay. I'm a little nervous about this. Let me see if I can. I'm trying to grab the picture for you guys. Sorry. Take me just a second here. Okay. Here we go. All right. So this is daily sentiment index. I'm worried about a couple of little things here. I'm worried about a couple things that are a little stretched. Volatility is benign. It's not quite below 10, but when you get to these levels, it starts to get very worrisome, right? The NASDAQ is at 85. Again, we're below 90, but still, we're at extreme levels, right? The euro is at 75, not too far off. Once we start to get in the 80s, I'll get a little bit more concerned. New Zealand dollars in the 80s already. All right. So you can see some of these extremes are gold is at an extreme, but gold, it's not really factoring into my analysis here. But I wanted to point that out, that we're starting to see things get close to extremes. Positioning, everybody's very long the euro. It's one of the most aggressively long positions in the currency market right now is the euro dollar. Now the euro is bullish. Technically, it's bullish. We're above 120. You can't ignore the fact that it's bullish. It's breaking out. The cable, is approaching, and you could argue that we're at this multi-year trend line. It's right here. It's a descending wedge, right? So a breakout above 135 is going to be really, really bullish for the cable. And remember, we're talking about potentially a potential Brexit deal happening. All right. So this could be, we could really, over the course of the next couple of days, spike up towards like 140, right? Maybe even further. The Aussie dollar isn't playing, and this is a little bit concerning. The Aussie dollar isn't following. The Kiwi has just been strong. It's been ridiculously strong. The dollar Canadian should be, in my opinion, a lot lower than it is, and it's holding up. And the dollar Mexican peso is holding up well too. I had a dollar Mex long, and I let it go around 10 or 20.04 because I was a little concerned about being on the long side of that when the euro is breaking out. Obviously it's fine. Hold on really quick. Let me do this. It's obviously holding up pretty well, but that's surprising considering how strong the euro dollar is and how strong stocks are. Another big development right now. Excuse me if you can hear the garbage truck. It's garbage truck day. And the timing is impeccable. Like he times it specifically to this webinar. So and he's really punctual. So you have to excuse the garbage truck. The other thing that, sorry, hold on. If you guys can hear that, I'm trying to, and on top of it, I have the window open because it's beautiful outside. Can you guys hear that? Okay. So one of the other things we got to watch are yields. Now, this is what I think is happening. And I know you're probably thinking, well, yields are higher. Why isn't the dollar stronger? Now, typically, when yields move higher like this, the dollar is going to move up with it. Today, we're seeing the opposite. We're seeing the dollar weaken and yields move up. But this is probably more of a reflection of a reflation type of trade, right? So you got stocks that are breaking out to all-time highs. Let's compare the S&P. Okay. So you got the stock market breaking towards all-time highs. Yields are finally starting to wake up and they're starting to move higher. So as yields move higher, the dollar is actually moving lower because the dollar is following stocks. You got, the stock market moving lower. Everybody's selling dollars to buy, euros and cable and Aussie to an extent or whatever. And they're just buying everything else. Now, what I think is brewing here is you're going to see yields potentially over the next couple of days, maybe over the next week, you're going to see them break out. Now, when yields break out, I'm not going to be as bullish equities because I think that as yields break out, the bond market's going to start to freak out some dollar, the stock market. And so, as yields start to go up, it's going to start to really, people are going to go, oh my God, what's going to happen with growth if yields start to really move higher here? And that I think is going to be a negative for equities. All right. But I may be wrong, but that's kind of what I'm thinking is yields break out. The stock market's going to start showing a little bit of weakness. Maybe it might be all the way up here. It might hit 3,800 first, and then you're going to see the dollar start to strengthen. Okay. So just a little heads up. I think the bond market's really moving today. It is moving everything else. Now, two other things I want to talk about. I want to talk about the breakout in the euro. So the euro dollar, as I pointed out, the euro dollar is moving higher. Let me get this out of the way. Okay. So the euro's going higher. The cable looks like it could break higher, right? Now, one of the other things that's moving higher as well is going to be the euro yen, which obviously if you guys are, using ForexAnalytix and you're watching this euro yen breakout, and some of you may be long. See, I was stuck on the wrong side of the euro this morning, but I picked up the euro yen, which has been great. We are actually testing a multi-year trend line here. This is 6 years. Okay. And if we break above like 126, which we're only 30 pips away from, we could trade up to 130, where we have this 12-year trend line. Here, let's go to the weekly chart. It's a 12-year trend line that would come in to view right here around the 130, 131 level. That looks entirely possible right now. And, it's not just, so I guess the point I'm trying to make here is it's not just the euro dollar, but it's also it's euro and different crosses too. You got the euro Aussie. The euro Aussie that's breaking out. Okay. Euro New Zealand's trying to, get a leg up here. So you got a lot of euro crosses that are really moving. So it's not just the euro dollar, it's the euro, cross rates are moving higher as well. Something to think about for those of you that are looking to fade. Hamashu says, dollar getting hit today, but many commodities also getting hit today. The ones that really affect the FX market that are really moving are going to be gold and silver, so that's obviously, you could almost argue that this probably kickstarted some of the dollar weakness is the gold move the silver move, but look at copper. I mean, copper's in breakout territory. I mean, copper looks like we're going to, 360, 370, maybe up to $4. I mean, that's pretty big breakout in copper, big double bottom breakout. So, if copper continues to go higher like this, and gold and silver, I'd imagine that the dollar continues to weaken. At least you can see it translate into some of these commodity currencies. So anyway, again, there's a lot of things that are happening now that are moving. What I'd be looking for going into this evening is I'd probably look for the euro to maybe pull back a little bit towards 120. See if you can get a long down there, and be really careful with the sterling, because if this thing breaks above like 135, it is gone. It's gonna go. And then one of the other things about the pound is it's holding dips just below 134. So keep that on the radar as we're moving as we move ahead. So, guys and gals, I want to thank you all for listening in. Very, very, some very, very big moves today in currencies. And let's hope volatility stays with us in the currency market, because, that's, we need it. We need it as currency traders. We need this volatility. So thanks everybody for listening in. You guys have a great one. And I will see so I'll see you tomorrow morning in the chat rooms or the face webinar. I hit the mute button on accident. All right. See you guys.